Alrighty guys, so welcome back. We are ready to get underway into the second semi-final of the Battlefield EMS One Cup number 4. Obviously on the second day here, I'm once again joined by Dogbert, the ever beautiful Dogbert. As I said before, he's luscious and gorgeous. How are you feeling about this one?
Really good. Both you and Jason seem to give me intros like this. It's kind of weird.
You're a very attractive man, I'll have you know.
Oh, thanks.
People don't appreciate it enough, your beard and
they
everything.
don't. Odie doesn't say enough. I know. I get really upset about that. But it'd be weird coming from him. At the same, you know what? This is. I was talking to the Epsilon guys today about the lineup they're bringing, and this is the team they're playing the most of right now. So I think these are the guys we're going to be seeing the most of.
Well, so Epsilon will be starting the Russian side. On the Chinese side, it will be uMAV, so let's hop on board with these guys, see what they're going for straight away. A very aggressive split from Epsilon, going straight across, challenging out the B side. We are going to see the contest going down on towards C, as already Asterix get himself up into those buildings, trying to get set up here, looking for a way to hold this one out, because it is that 2-1 hold in favor currently to Epsilon, but there's so many splits coming across this map. There's so many possibilities, and I've got to say, it looks as though uMAV are a little bit better set up to actually hold this one through.
Yeah, uMAV came out really aggressive, but that's their style. They go for the blitzkrieg. That's what they like to do. They get in your face, they get really aggressive, kind of very much like AAA, but even more so. And I'm quite surprised. Epsilon, usually I would have thought they'd be to hold this off, but they're really getting stuck at this B flag here. They're going to pressure A. I think for them, A and B is going to be their bread and butter, but they have very lax control on these houses right now.
And Baden proving your point absolutely true. Leaps out of the houses, takes down the opponent, recaps over the flag, and holds away the threat for now. But Epsilon have a great position here, spotting out Marzu. They get the exchange, not the immediate kill, but it's still, A should be kind of maybe the more contested side, but it seems though once again uMAV hold on. There's no easy route through here, and we are seeing that really far back spawn coming out occasionally for Epsilon, aside from them holding those school buildings now, looking for the fire across the roofs, but it's not going easily for them. They're locked down to just B, so this is a perfect start for these guys over on uMAV. So just to quickly take you through the rosters, if you're just tuning in, it is David, Jera, Horek, Duke, and Akosh for Epsilon. And for uMAV, it's Marzu, Baden, Delarco, Sneaky, and Asterix. Now, what are we seeing so far here?
It's an interesting game. uMAV came out very heavy on that C flag. It went their way quite early. And Epsilon just seemed to be, I don't know, clustered around B far too much.
Yeah, really kind of getting tunnel vision there. C has been absolutely dominated by the 3 players from Epsilon, Duke, Akosh, and I believe Horek actually did the damage then. Now we're seeing uMAV pretty much just tucked in towards that A site, having to literally rocket launch their way across, hopefully to remove some of the cover that Epsilon are enjoying hiding behind, going for a very long way around. Delarco going on a massive split here, running with that Scar H. He's looking like he wants to use it to the best of its ability. Is now just Akosh really alive in this one. He's surrounded by the opposition. The rest of his team heading over towards that B side, looking to make sure they keep their hands on this one and retain this 2-1 hold. But still, C now being focused down by uMAV. They are looking to get into this one straight away. He could be in trouble though. You are seeing slowly but surely the uMAV players getting in on that C side. Not too much of a contest coming through, but we are seeing that long rotate coming into effect from the likes of Horek and I believe Duke, who got the back spawn, but Asterix even further around the back, trying to cause some real damage. Horek, however, does contain the threat. Sneaky goes down as well, and look at the spawns coming for uMAV. That is really troublesome. Baden got taken down. There is only one man now left by A for uMAV. That's Marzu, and that's all they're left with. So finally, we are seeing the ticket bleed going against uMAV.
Yeah, and the spawns are good for uMAV, but at the same time, they've not really been able to project their power on that B flag at all. They're going to be able to take the C flag, but they might lose A quite quickly.
Yeah, Asterix doing a bit of a solo job over there. We are seeing the 1v1 coming down. Sneaky will be challenged down. Duke will win that and retain A, at least possibly in favor to Epsilon if they do want to convert it over. They do seem to be going for it now, but Marzu immediately getting into the action, trying to dominate the buildings from the lower section, stopping the push across. Spots out Horek and Jera, but will go down immediately. Baden switching his eyes across, looking towards A. They are losing out on it, and we are going to see a little bit of a struggling hold here because uMAV left to convert the B site over, holding on to B and C. But once again, Epsilon struggling to get this 2-1 hold here. They closed the deficit slightly, but it certainly wasn't the ideal way to start this one off for them.
No, uMAV have just been constantly in Epsilon's face, never really given them much breathing room. They've managed to wrestle the control away from them as well, especially on the B houses right now. So you're going to see a lot of B and C for uMAV. But the problem with C is it's very easy to switch them over on one side. The spawns are quite annoying. It's just a very hard flag to keep a hold of. B quite easy, but at the same time, A, they have no control on those roofs, so they're kind of stuck into B.
Yeah, they are tucked in, and Delarco's done a little bit of a solo mission there, making sure he gets that C site in his hands. He should be converting that. Horek and Duke could change over, but B could be possibly up for the taking here unless Marzu can stay alive, hold the Wolves at bay, because at the moment he's pretty much the only man forward on this site. Finally, Asterix comes around in support, tucking himself away, trying to get that nade spam through to those buildings that have just been dominated by Epsilon. But Epsilon still trailing on tickets. Sneaky trying to even the odds on the C site, as there's already one member of Epsilon ready to challenge, looking for his opponent, can't spot them by process of elimination. Surely going to realize the two is left, but it's too little too late. They've been swarmed, but as that happened, Epsilon have had the chance to get in towards B, but immediately Marzu looking for a way through does not get the entrance he needed, but Delarco quickly picks up the mantle, exchanges with David, does not get the easy way through, and Jera should be able to lock this one down for now.
Yeah, and it was a very critical fight there. A lot of trades as well, which is very interesting. Something that really should have gone in Epsilon's favor a lot better, but those trades came in and really frustrated it. This is dangerous, though, for Epsilon. Even though they do have this A and B, they're getting killed, and a lot of their spawns, I think, now are going to be over at the C flag, and this is going to pretty much leave A and B quite wide open.
Yeah, it certainly is, and they're certainly going to be feeling the pressure of that rather soon. You're seeing the fire from afar coming in, and to be fair, Epsilon are not afraid for getting aggressive here, but they might be feeling the pressure of that. Duke and Co pushed across, but Sneaky and a couple of others have already reclaimed that B and A site. This is swung back over in favour to uMAV. Maybe the overextension from Epsilon there could be costing them this game, and look at the cross just being locked down by Marzu, really utilising the Ace 52, which is very surprising being able to use it at such a long range, and immediately uMAV going on the aggression, not happy sitting back, happy to split a couple of players across to try and dominate these buildings. Sneaky doing the damage, as we said, but B now being contested. We've seen Jera pushing in before, trying to hold these guys off, getting the revives in, but soon enough he will be surrounded, and I don't think they can hold this setup here.
No, and uMAV are just all over them. They're just pressuring this game as much as possible. That C flag is going to be theirs quite easy. I think Duke PT's going out, sorted it, and if anyone can save it, it'll be him. But right now, this game is so up in the air. Everyone's going for every flag, but that B house is consistently in uMAV's hands.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it has stayed that way for at least a little bit longer than normal. We are seeing a triple cap, however, coming out for Epsilon, finally get themselves back into this, and looking at the ticket deficit that they have, they desperately need it. So Asterix now forced to push through, gets a couple of respawns on him, looking to challenge out this flag, splits it with Sneaky, gets the flag in hand. We're already seeing uMAV split across the road, looking towards the B side. Fantastic game again coming out from Marzu, just dominating long range, making it really damn hard work for Epsilon. They should be getting the 2-1 hold unless Epsilon can change over that C side quickly, and they've got two players ready to do that.
Yeah, right now I'm really surprised by how uMAV are playing this game. They're really in Epsilon's space, and Epsilon are a team that can usually deal with that. They get the kills, they do quite well. But I think that uMAV have just practiced really hard on this map, and they're not making them feel very comfortable at all.
No, certainly not. We're seeing Delarco looking for possibly a way to alleviate some of the pressure from Epsilon, who've been playing those buildings quite well. But we're seeing Asterix actually holding onto that school building, so maybe looking to really lock down that B site as long as possible here, leaving just Epsilon towards A. And that ticket deficit is going to start looking a little bit dangerous for Epsilon. They're down to 44 already. You're seeing David here looking for his options towards C, gets spotted out, but he's got Horek in tow. Going to be making the push towards the site here. He's found one, goes for the supporting kill, cannot get it too easily. Fire comes in from across the way. We are once again seeing uMAV holding on to this, or at least for now. C is up in the air, finally Epsilon break through, but I'm looking straight away to see where uMAV can convert, but there's a lovely little play going down on the B side. Akosh can convert this one.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, especially at B if you look at it. And you can pretty much tell, I think uMAV's been the team blowing up buildings as much as they can. They've left B intact, but they've destroyed the small schoolhouse. They've destroyed the flag opposite C. And this is pretty much leaving it open for them to be able to hold B and C quite easily because of that B house. I'm surprised that Epsilon hasn't tried to destroy it themselves, or at least knock out the staircase wall so they can actually get a bit of crossfire in on the defender there, because right now, that's what's holding B consistently in uMAV's hands.
Yeah, and right now we are seeing that one-man stand of Baden trying to take down 3 players. The nades, however, will be landing at his feet. Now uMAV need to kick into gear from the buildings, from the side, and hold on. They've got the 2-1 here. 24 tickets left for the opponent. That's a beautiful sight to their eyes. Sneaky does pick up Horek, immediately avenged, however, as David will be pushing in towards the side, trying to claim this one over in favor to Epsilon, but uMAV immediately on A. They're looking for a way through.
This is the comeback for Epsilon need. They need to hold this A and B flag. This fight of A is critical right now. It's a one-on-one. It goes bad way, but Duke PT is still nearby, and you can see that they're bringing Nakatosh as well. But also at the same time, Epsilon done really, really well in the C flag. So really, this is the chance for them to come back and even this round.
Yeah, it certainly is. As you're seeing, Horek and David converting that one over. We are seeing the respawns from uMAV kind of trying to get their attention to one of these sites because they're going to be triple capped if they're not careful. This could really spell trouble. This could even up the game. Now, uMAV need to try and contain the threat right now. C seems the easiest option, just pouring in. Delarco does not check his corners. Horek will pick that one up quite comfortably. And now we possibly see this one staying in their favor. Not for now, though. The breakthrough finally coming in from uMAV. They've got a chance here, but can they get B? Already Epsilon are very set up here. They're looking quite comfortable. Not as much cover as you'd like, I can imagine, but still. David can lay down the fire, prone down, and look for another option. But look at that immediately. The grenades, every bit of spam possible comes in towards them, and B will be the next side that looks like it wants to be taken over. But cheeky little spawn code from Horek. If they do lose out on B, they could reclaim the C site. So options being left open everywhere.
Yeah, and this game has just suddenly become very, very close. This B flag, though, has just been knocked wide open. And you can see it was uMAV with the rocket launchers. They were deciding when and what building was going to go down. They decided that B was time to get hit with a few rockets. They needed to clear it out quickly. But at the same time, they're not clearing out B at all. They're not capping it. They're too scared to get in there. And even though there's only one defender there, it's really causing them a bit of harm.
This is a huge bit of play. A has just swung in favor for now to Team uMAV. B has stayed in the hands of Epsilon, but A going back over. This is unbearably close. Both teams could stop this now. B is being countercapped. Both teams looking to minimize the damage. It's whoever comes out with a 2-to-1 hold here is in the better position. B in that pivotal site now. It looks like it's in uMAV's favor. Those 3 tickets will be bleeding drastically against Epsilon. It's not looking good. Baden's picking up the kills. So respawns now are an unavailable option. 12 tickets is not a huge lead, however. So uMAV have the advantage, but not by a long, long way.
And more importantly, they're going to go into the next round on the stronger side. If you can bring down 12 tickets from a side that really should have done much better, it's looking pretty good for them.
Yeah, indeed. So already Marzu 21-11. So not bad from him, you know. Maybe with Mayak missing from this game, it's suddenly giving other people a chance to actually, you know, step up a little bit and try and get kills. But I think that Mayak, is he ill at the moment? We haven't seen him recently, so it's kind of worrying.
I don't know, but at the same time, the LAN finals are coming up now. I mean, the group stages, all the stuff that he will not be able to play in Germany. He will not be able to attend the LAN final. He is underage. So,
wow.
It's kind of risky for Epsilon, in my opinion, my humble opinion, to let a player play your online stuff when you really need to be getting a solid 5 players who are experienced enough getting every game they can in so they can actually play better on LAN, because LAN is where they have to be most worried. I think Epsilon are going to make it to the final here. They're so damn good when they're in the proper mindset. The problem is, I don't know if they have it for LAN.
That's a very big question that we'll be eventually finding the answer out to, but it's certainly got to be weighing heavy in the back of their minds as well here. So Epsilon will be starting the Chinese side, so my overlay is currently lying to you guys, and the Russian side will be filled with Team uMAV. So looking for a bit of a way through here, looking for a little bit of a comeback. So let's bear in mind, if Epsilon, who are in the Russian team, drop below 12 tickets, first map will be going over to uMAV. So that's what you need to keep your eyes on. And let's bear in mind, this was Epsilon's choice, so a little bit of a dangerous start for them.
Yeah, and I got a feeling for if uMAV can do the exact same thing they did last round, get this A-B hold or the BC, and just use the building destruction to their advantage, they might actually shut out Epsilon here. Epsilon looked really, really weak at the start. They got completely caught out by uMAV.
Yeah, Delarco picking up the first here. uMAV going straight on the aggression, trying to challenge out Horek and co. Looking for these kills. David splitting around the side, though, looking towards C. It's a 2v1 hold against Epsilon at the moment. B and C are firmly in the hands of uMAV. Lovely little insighted play from David there. Does manage to pick up Sneaky, but there's another player even further back. Yastrik's really playing far away, but Horek straight on the site, spamming out those nades. They look like they want C to start with. They've still got A quite firmly, and we're going to see that building exchange going through. I think right now is Jero who's going to come out the victor of that one. He's just in the better place at the better time. Now finally uMAV can come back in and pick back up C, but they might be losing out on B.
It's an interesting tactic Asterix is going for here. He's running support class far back with bipod and giving cover on that C and B flag. and they're using the rocket launchers to take out cover, so Asterix always has the ability to lay down heavy fire. And this is the first time I've really seen this being done.
Very interesting play. 2-on-1 hold still. It's very much being held by Team uMAV here. There's very little breaking through. C is being fully contested, and there's no easy way for Epsilon to find their way out of this one. Quite surprising, really, and B is being capped over as well by Epsilon. They're trying to swing this one back, but they had no chance of it. And this is just unbelievable play. They know they've lost the B site. Sorry, excuse me. They know they've lost the B site, so they're already looking towards A. This is just incisive play from uMAV. They are looking so damn strong very early on here. This is a trip cap. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's because I think Epsilon were really confused on how to attack this B flag. They start to second guess. This positioning by uMAV is absolutely brilliant. More importantly, it's very unorthodox, and that's what's making Epsilon worry. I mean, they're getting caught from angles they're not used to being hit by. They've eventually managed to break through on B, but it's took so long, and that lead is massive right now.
Yeah, that has got to be heavy in their minds at the moment, but as you said, we do now finally see uMAV just push back to just having C. I'm looking to see where they go for the breakout here more than anything. And it does seem as though they're just trying to take their time. They're not rushing this one. They've got a nice little chance here down the east side of the road. Marzu, however, will not be able to pick up the kill. So maybe this ideal setup they had at the start, the unorthodox start, didn't really pay off towards the end unless they can get across this road. Baden is the player sneaking forward. He's actually got this B site possibly under control here. He's picked up Akosh and now gets challenged out finally. So not going to be an easy convert, but he's drawn enough of the attention away. Maybe they can send a couple more players across this road now.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think really what should happen here is uMAV have a bit of a lead, or they did have a very substantial one, and they should really change up their tactics now and play a more straight game. Because I think the positions they're holding are good, but at the same time, they're not able to influence B anymore. And having a player wasted that far away from the fight now is not helping.
No, certainly not. And we're actually seeing a couple of players splitting off challenger. David getting very aggressive, knowing they have the advantage, catching Marzu with his pants down, but it doesn't matter. Marzu will come out the better of that kill. Epsilon will be maintaining this 2-to-1 hold, but now finally their chance. They took down Marzu. They've opened up that streak for the push. Sneaky will be moving in towards that B side. He's got a good chance here. The nades have not connected. Finally, he will be pushed, but he's got backup coming in the form of Marzu going on the flank here, looking to make this one really hard work for Epsilon to hold down. Duke will fall, and we are seeing that B side possibly actually going back over into the hands of Team uMAV if they can make this one stick.
It's brilliant play there by Sneaky on the flag. He kept running around the metal container, and that helped Asterix eventually influence that fight and swung it over in uMAV's favor quite drastically. But Epsilon here have started to at least bring the lead down a bit. They're starting to put pressure onto C instead of B, but at the same time, they're just really spreading out uMAV because they know that in a local close quarter fight, they're always going to have the ability to outnumber uMAV.
Let's see if that rings true more than anything. We are seeing the re-challenge coming in on that B side. We've got the likes of Akosh going in, trying to do the damage from a little bit closer range. Sneaky not able to challenge down this time. B will be converted, and for just a second, there was a triple cap in favor to Epsilon. We've seen Delarco trying to cut their losses, head over towards the A site. He's got two players coming towards him. B still fairly up for the taking, but here we go. Respawn's coming in. A will be staying theirs. They've kept C, and once again, the advantage to uMAV. This is a perfectly played game from them so far. A little bit lax at times, don't get me wrong, but certainly to this point, they've been playing very, very well.
Yeah, and I think it's the time for uMAV really to start switching up these tactics to just now come at Epsilon, and really just get in their faces. This position is kind of nice, but I start to feel that maybe Epsilon have figured it out now, and they're trying to start taking it away from that B flag as much as they can. Take it with one person. They don't need anything more. And even though uMAV are doing a great job over A, I don't know how long they can keep it going.
Yeah, Epsilon are coming in their numbers, drove after drove, finally winning out the battle there. They have claimed that one, and B is the easier side to convert for them. But already Marzu is tucked in on this one. He's got a lot of players to fend off, however. He's going to have to be fairly careful. He does get taken down. So once again, C being the last standing bastion, at least for now. Oh, beautiful kill from Akosh coming in off that A road, really making it hurt. B will be going back over in favor to Epsilon, and they might be able to just minimize this deficit if they can really claim this now.
Yeah, and Epsilon are really starting to get themselves back into this game. But at the same time, that position has bought uMAV so much time and so many tickets. But maybe Epsilon aren't even capable of bringing it back. That is a massive wipe. That is pretty much everyone who was pushing B just got took out by Delarco and Marzu. And really, this is going to put Epsilon on the back foot here. They're going to have to defend this A flag, where really they should have been consolidating their power on B by now.
Yeah, Delarco did try and sneak his way in there, but he didn't have much luck. He did eventually get taken down, but you will probably see that BC hold once again in favor to uMAV if they can get that C site. Baden, pretty much the last standing man towards B, looking across, tries to get some fire down. No connections, however, so has to back away. Has to place carefully. Obviously, you don't want to be losing out on this too easily, but they have lost out on that C site. They were not able to convert it. So they are still in the lead, but not by a long shot. Baden does come through, picks up Akosh, but they need to get, a little bit more, they're holding on to B, but they haven't been able to get their hands firmly onto that C for a little bit of time now.
Yeah, and it's a back-and-forth game. 12 tickets is what uMAV won the previous round on, and you can kind of see Epsilon are kind of just sending two-man pushes constantly at B and C. They've made a bit of headway on that C flag, and they've constantly got Jerif chasing after Asterix. Actually, no, it's David 2K at the moment. But Jerif's been the man generally chasing after him. David 2K gets that pick, and that's taken a guy off the roof who's been doing a lot of the spotting for uMAV. And now this is the chance for Epsilon, really. They need to pressure this B flag, but I think they're taking a bit too much time to get in there.
Yeah, they certainly are. Marzu now fully set up. Already finds Akosh. You can see him fallen down. Now just the two players by the A road. Looking to try and find a way through here, but there's no easy path. Already the flank coming from Marzu. Lovely pickup from him. Really working that B side. Following up the nade spam, but he does not get the gibble, the kind of follow-up kill he needed, but goes back for more. This man is just making it so hard work. That triple kill has held the likes of uMAV that B side. They've got C in the bag, and once again, only A left for Epsilon. It's not looking pretty for these guys, and they're in trouble. Let's bear in mind, Epsilon, the team, if they drop below 12 tickets, they are pretty much losing out on the first map that was their choice. So now B being the side they're focusing on, but look at the setup already. Baden and Asterix just creating a crossfire of absolute doom and destruction for Epsilon when they step foot in towards that B side. Baden comes in the kill. We've got one player on the long flank, but picked up again by Asterix, and Team uMAV have every single option just locked down here.
Yeah, and I think the destruction has totally favoured them the most. They're the only team that's really been doing it this much, and it's really making Epsilon feel uncomfortable. It's like they're playing on a different map, and that's what's giving uMAV such an advantage.
Yeah, indeed, and no one been able to really break down this B push just yet. Every single player's gone their way. Finally, a bit of an A push forms, and they have split across, but Marzu coming in from afar, and Baden again mops up the A road push. Duke goes down, and any other member trying to make their way across, and that mid road is being held firmly in the hands of uMAV. 16 tickets left. They are on the cusp of picking up the first map here. uMAV finally getting that back spawn, but Asterix, and I believe that's probably Marzu up there. It's actually Delarco just holding them in place, and there we have it. Lovely play coming out from uMAV. An unorthodox game, but a brilliant start from them.
Yeah, but look at the frags. This is where it comes down to. No one on Epsilon really did very well. I mean, that's a key issue with Epsilon. As long as they get the frags, they do very well. If they don't get the frags, they do insanely bad. And even though they were getting the flags at some point, and they were doing quite well, uMAV were just slaughtering them at the beginning. They had no response for them positions, and the destruction just changed the map so drastically that they just didn't get a foothold at all.
Well, it's going to have to be eyes on Locker, and the worrying side is that this is uMAV's choice. This is their map that they wanted, so I'm slightly worried for Epsilon more than anything when they get made to look like amateurs on a map that I've seen them being truly dominant on before. It's slightly unnerving, but uMAV really did make it a very hard battle, and as you said, played out of the the usual kind of trend of what we see there. So I don't know what to expect out of Locker. I'm not sure if you can kind of dominate the pace as much, or at least take it out of that comfort zone. I don't know how much you can switch that map up. It's a little bit more linear. But if uMAV can, they are in a fantastic position of moving on 2-0. So very interested to see how this one pans out. I think we are just waiting on the final player from Epsilon joining us in the server. So I'll drop you guys in there anyway, so you can see exactly what's going through. So guys, do make sure you go on Twitter and you tweet me exactly what you think the outcome of this one is going to be. Obviously go at They Call Me Pansy and at Dignitas Dogbert and let us know who you think is going to walk away with this one. After an impressive start, I think it's very hard to bet against uMAV.
Yeah, but I feel it's a weird one that they've gone for this map. Now, I've seen uMAV play against AAA on this map, and uMAV literally destroyed them. It was barely even a competitive game, and I was so impressed by uMAV in that one. But the thing is, Epsilon is the kind of team that can probably take that kind of pressure, or at least they could. And maybe the extra practice that uMAV have been putting in is really paying off because they've been scrimming hard, probably harder than any other team right now, and they just seem to be completely turned on.
You're impressed by how turned on they are. You filthy bastard, dog. But I worry about you.
Pick up on that. I knew that was gonna get picked up on.
What do you expect? You know, I'm really impressed with how they've been turned on. Dear Lord, man.
Oh my God! It's not even the first time I've said it either. I always get picked on. I need to just stop using that line. I mean,
you can use it all you want, but expect repercussions. Dear Lord.
Yeah, they just seem so switched on. They're just on top of
switched
this game
on.
Right
there
now.
We go, nailing it. Perfect.
But then I put on top on, so I kind of throw it away straight away. I don't know. They've had some really impressive displays, and then they kind of just fall apart in some games. They've had a lot of 2-1s with Dignitas. They've had games that really I would have thought they'd do a lot better on, and then sometimes they just come out and smash teams. Epsilon, on the other hand, are the exact same thing. They've been winning a lot. They had like probably almost a month of non-stop victories, and then they started to lose one round, and then they started to lose 2-0s against teams. They don't look like the same team they were, say, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
No, I agree. But it's how quick this game's evolving that just keeps shocking me every single time I witness it. You know, different teams just coming out of absolutely nowhere, showing or not out of nowhere, but you know, everyone's evolving so quickly here. It's unbelievable to watch, and it's certainly a bit of a treat. I think everyone can agree on that factor. I don't think anyone can kind of predict the outcome of most of these cups. At the start, you know, everyone was complaining, oh, this is just the Fnatic show pretty much, and now it's like, well, you don't know who the hell is going to be winning these finals. Against Authority picking up the victory not too long ago in Cup number 3. So it is very hard to predict these days. And what are your thoughts towards this map especially? Who do you think is going to have the victory here? Because as we mentioned before, or as I kind of... I kind of imagined, do you think uMAV will be able to actually be as creative on this map as they were in the second?
I don't think they'll be as creative. I think they're just going to come forward and just be really aggressive, get in the face of Epsilon and make them really feel quite uncomfortable. That is their style on Locker. They're ultra aggressive, more aggressive than probably any other team. I mean, you thought AAA were aggressive. uMAV more so. They're just constant pressure. But I mean, up until that point, I would have said they'd do the exact same thing on our previous map, and then they played a very smart game. They're probably one of the smartest I've seen in quite a while. And the problem is that the tactics you used in that map can't really translate over to Locker. It's very much a corridor fighting and infantry-based battle. And I think it's something it should favor Epsilon, but I think they're broken right now. I honestly think from that previous map, they're not going to recover. uMAV take this.
Okay, 2-0, and I do love the way people are like, why are you looking at C all the time? So, well, guys, funny enough, 4 players for Epsilon probably means they aren't going live just yet. So do not fear. You know, I'm sure that I'm just gonna leave you looking outside of the map now, so you can just stare down there until they go live, just so it doesn't confuse you people at home. Twitch chat, I thought more of you. You know, I used to command people to say Kappa, and they did these things. Now they're like, how can you look at C when the game's going on? Jesus. I worry about these people. I really do. It makes me quite sad. But still, obviously we are just waiting on the, I think it's Duke to come back. He's switching to Wi-Fi. So maybe people are able to hit him a little bit too easy, and he's like, do you know what? I need to kind of up my unhittability here. Let me just switch onto that Wi-Fi.
Yeah, he's their best player when it comes to getting the frags, and he didn't perform in the previous rounds, and that really hurt them. He wasn't getting the frags he usually was. He wasn't the dominating force that they usually have up front. And it looks to me that they kind of lost the ability to project that killing power, where uMAV absolutely just seems solid around the board, from top to bottom. Not a single player in that previous map did anything wrong. Well, on Epsilon, they just seemed completely confused, and yeah, it was a surprise to see them go out like that.
Yeah. Indeed. Well, we're going to find out. Obviously, still waiting on Duke. And because people are now like, well, if you told us why you're at C, you know, normally I tell you when we go live. I'm having an argument with Twitch chat. But I assume you guys people have an IQ above 12, so I don't need to tell you when the game's not live. I just tell you when we do go live. You can just chill out. You know, you can count the players. Counting is hard. But for now, I'll just leave you looking at a fan. Dat fan. I'm a big fan of Twitch chat, see? Bam. That's what I'm doing. This is my life these days, literally. I sit in a studio and talk to Twitch chat. I feel I need to improve my lifestyle, you know? I feel it's hindering me a little bit. And I go off these rants that need to stop. Eventually, you know, there's going to be like a kind of passive-aggressive email sent around just saying Lauren needs to stop talking absolute rubbish when streaming. But for now, I can just talk nonsense because we do obviously have Duke not on the server. Oh, this is good. There we go. Duke is back with us, but we're not live yet. Don't worry. Keep calm. Keep calm. We'll tell you when we go live. We'll leave the fan for now. We'll go back to the high security cells. They don't have very high security, to be fair, considering they're all open. It's not looking too good. Medical bay. Let's head down there. And just chill out. Doesn't look too great either. I'm not sure if I'd particularly want to be treated in this sort of area at all. It looks a little bit dirty, more than anything. I didn't realise there was actual little numbers on these things as well. Someone's got a heartbeat and everything, and there's just a bed. Fantastic. But yeah, we are obviously waiting for the restart. When the restart comes in, we will be going live. Keep it, just chill, you know.
Is this your punishment for people for saying the game wasn't live?
This is what happens. This is exactly what happens. Don't push me, people. Otherwise, I will literally cast the whole game, and all you'll see is that damn fan. Ah, righty. Let's get ready, because I think actually now we are going live. So there you go, guys. Do not worry. I'll let you know when we do. See, look, there's 5 people in for both sides. Here we go. There you go. I think we are going to go live into this one. So on the US side, it will be Epsilon. Let me make sure my overlay doesn't lie to me. And for Team uMAV, they'll be up on the US side. So already advantage to uMAV. We are going into their map. And what do you think we can expect from the start here?
I don't know. uMAV like to put a lot of early pressure onto the central tunnel, so I kind of think both teams are probably going to do that. I probably think maybe Epsilon might overcommit to C, while uMAV are going to try and burst through to B.
Okay, well, we can only wait and see. 5 seconds remaining until we go live. Just letting you people at home know we're going live, so no panic will ensue, and we will be seeing uMAV obviously starting this one. Let's have a look to see where they're going towards. Massive push towards the outside from Epsilon, only leaving 1 man in. Finally joined by Duke, who will be supporting down that A corridor. Interesting start from these guys. One split out towards C for uMAV, whereas they're looking like they want to go straight for the push towards that A side. We might have to see the Epsilon side retracting away a little bit. The 2-1 hold for now is in favour to uMAV, but will they be able to keep that? Obviously, C is the side that's being contested over and over. We've got the grenades landing right at their feet. And this is a very impressive bit of play towards the outside section, holding on for now. Epsilon will be able to convert that, but will Epsilon be able to hold on to that A site now?
It's all down to how quick uMAV want to push this flag at A. They had the opportunity to do it really quick, but they waited too long, and Epsilon were able to rotate back into A. It comes down to a 3-on-2 at A. A weird fight, though.
Yeah, very, very strange. A little bit sloppy, but, you know, eventually these guys seem to be getting set up. But Epsilon being mowed down by Jera there as he just came in from the back of the infirmary. That will be going over towards the Epsilon side for now. But we are seeing at least 1 member still standing tall, still staying alive within that mid-tunnel. He's looking to do something here. B is still in their hands, but they've lost out on C. They've lost out on A. We are going to see the push coming through now. Hopefully Asterix and Co can actually open this up. But, you know, uMAV not off to the flying start I expected.
No, but I think that's because a lot of teams expect them to put a lot of pressure onto the safe flag early. The thing is, uMAV busted open. There was only a single defender, but they took too long to get in there, and the rotation came in from Epsilon. Epsilon are very, very quick on this rotation. They know where the hammer is falling, and uMAV here not switching up their attack at all.
Yeah, David and Jera both looking down the A corridor, dropping out those nades, getting the connections, and just holding uMAV back. Every single second, they keep getting these kills, keep just spamming it down. They're getting tickets basically ripped away from uMAV. Lovely little play from Jera once again, coming in big. Doesn't have to play, you know, this is fancy Battlefield, he just has to play basic. And David, now in tow, finally goes down. They've got a bit of a breakthrough here, but already Epsilon have players ready on that A site. There's no easy path. It's a 2-1 hold, and it has been for some time.
Yeah, they're doing a great job at holding. This is what Fnatic really wanted in their game against AAA. They're causing crossfire coming in from Akatosh here. That outside area on the edge of the tunnel is really the key point here. Very difficult to take out that player, and he can really cause a crossfire with the other person from the closer tunnel at A, can really just throw in nades and get the kills, and they're just stuck at this bend here.
Yeah, they really can't break through. Finally, Baden does get a kill on Jera, but straight away, as you said, Akosh being such a key figure in this one. Now David picking up the mantle. They're really not easing up, and uMAV, at what point do you go, okay, guys, we need to go to another site?
I think they've probably had that decision now as they're switching out to that C flag. They've been stuck at the banana outside A for so long now, but they've just been leading tickets from pretty much the start of the game. There's the pick on C, though, and now they're probably going to change up their strategy.
Yeah, hopefully so. We have seen that one swinging over in favor. I'm curious to see what Epsilon do now. We actually see the push coming out from David. He gets aggressive down by that corridor. The Epsilon side now has to kind of reconsider where they go, and there'll be a 2-to-1 hold possibly against them here. And it's all about where they decide to go. They're actually challenging out on C, so they like this AC hold. Straight away, Horek getting in on this site, looking like to want to claim this one, but can they hold into A? I think uMAV have just broken through here, and they're a little bit caught out by this one.
Yeah, and it comes down to Epsilon. If they want to keep the same strategy now, they've got a lead. They can probably start playing a different kind of strat. But it looks like they really just want to keep pressuring A and hold C. So once again, it's going to be a 4-man push onto this A flag.
Well, let's see if uMAV can hold on to this one. Already players are falling. It seems though Epsilon are strong-arming their way into this, and there's no way that they can hold on to it right now. Jared just bursts through, takes down Baden, and they've claimed this one back. They've got the AC hold, and they're very, very happy with it. But there is a little bit of a cheeky spawn coming through round the back here for a couple of the members of uMAV who've just got absolutely mowed down anyway. Delarco's the only one standing. He's trying to do the damage. He's found Horek, so that has opened out the outside area, but there's players behind him. He's been caught in the heels, and he will be going down. So not the ideal start, but we are seeing A being kept over for uMAV.
Yeah, Delarco didn't spawn there. He ran through it, and the only thing it did stop him was David 2K spawning right on top of him almost.
Wow.
But everyone from Epsilon left A to stop Delarco.
Alright, so we are seeing B and C being contested. B is being fairly easily converted by Epsilon. C is going over to uMAV, and A is just about being held by uMAV in this moment. But there is pressure coming from the likes of Jera, already finding Sneaky, opening up this A side, looking for his way in, but there's players still meandering around from uMAV. There's no easy way in here. Akosh is now joining him, so he might be making it a little bit more simple. All sites are being contested. Marzu on the side does probably going to get contested from the side here. Nice little 2v1 pincer maneuver coming in from Epsilon, not even allowing the odds to slip away from them. So it should be a 2-to-1 hold in their favor once again.
Yeah, uMAV need to change up their strategy now. A is not working. They're bleeding too many tickets. They need to switch it up, and that's what they're doing. 3-man push on C. Pretty irresistible. But at the same time, Epsilon now need to realize it and start to be aggressive themselves. Push that B flag and do it quickly.
Let's see if they go for a little bit of that. It seems that Jared's already splitting through there. He got tagged up on the cross, so they're well aware of the plans going through here, but he is going to get that cap down, so already thinking about his options. He's got reinforcements in the form of Horek, but here comes the counter push from uMAV, looking to make their way through. A is still being possibly decided over by Delarco and Duke, but B is also now just falling into the hands of Epsilon, but I can imagine this player is very close by, willing to challenge, and that's Asterix from the back, picking up the kill, looking to take this one back over into uMAV's favor, and this could be a trip cap if they can make this one stick, and Asterix certainly looks like he can do this, and this is a brilliant bit of counterplay coming out from uMAV now.
Yeah, Epsilon though on the attack on pretty much every flag. Duke is kind of waiting it out at A, and B is obviously going to be attacked very soon. Duke PT though, lone man at A, and I don't know how much he can do by himself.
Well, let's find out. He does have to be that one-man turret. He's being challenged straight out by Baden, exchanging over the tabletops. He's got support in the form of Jerry coming in, but Marzu on the rotate round the back, really making this hard work. Delarco doing the same. He's gone down, but here comes David, looking to pick up the remains of whatever is left here. Marzu is literally 2 foot away from him. They're just waiting this one out. Here comes the push. Here comes the leap, and David is completely caught off guard. uMAV coming in big, and they might just be able to hold on to this one for a couple more seconds, and they desperately need to. This is a 2-to-1 hold in favor to Epsilon still.
Yeah, but you can see how uMAV's strategy of going for that A flag is starting to really become a hindrance for them, because Epsilon know that they're investing so much in it, and they're going for that B flag now. And as I was saying before, as soon as you get to that point, that ticket lead that they got is now starting to become a big, big issue for uMAV.
Certainly is 90 tickets sitting on the board for Epsilon here. We are seeing Marzu in a fantastic position once again. He's being a bit of a lone wolf here, going to challenge out towards C. The rest of his side focused towards the B side, where we're seeing an early split from Horek, making his way through mid. Marzu has already picked up that one-man split, but the rest of Epsilon have spawned in. Here comes the pressure. Delarco gets found, and Asterix will follow, so he's being mopped up by David. Lovely little bit of play, but there's still at least one man on the side. That is Marzu, trying to buy as much time as possible for uMAV. He's got very little backup, just Sneaky there, finally getting the respawn respawns. But here comes Akosh looking to get involved here. He knows there's a player just moments away. He knows how Marzu likes to play. He's going to pick that one up fairly easily. But the reinforcements have arrived, and C is going back and forth.
Yeah, right now with 21 tickets, you kind of feel for Epsilon have kind of got it in the bag, but at the same time, they could get sloppy here. They want to maintain this lead as best they can going into the next round, and we've seen teams come unstuck here many a time.
We certainly have 81 tickets to 17. C is being kind of going back and forth. We have got the the respawns going for Epsilon on towards B as well, so it's not looking good for uMAV. They're already weighing up their options towards A. They could be walking away with a 2-1 hold, but Jera looks like he wants to switch that up. Looks like he wants to get involved in this side. Picks up Batten quite comfortably there, down only 30 HP. He knows there's going to be other people around. And now, a couple of nades being spammed through. He's got this one on the go. This is lovely play from Epsilon, actually breaking back through towards A. They're going to get at least a 2-1 hold for now if they can convert one of these sites.
Yeah, and this is the Epsilon we were talking about, who've been able to do so well in all these cups, and they've started to wake up now. That hold on A and C was an absolute chokehold on uMAV, and they were just not able to get out of it in time. The ticket lead that Epsilon have right now is just so damn good.
It certainly is, and we are seeing uMAV pretty much being resorted to desperate measures, pushing out as much as possible and just having very little luck towards it. 9 tickets now remaining. A is up for grabs. Batten straight away getting on it, but there's 3 players now pushing down towards him. Horek nading down the corridor. No connections there. He's just going to hold them at bay, get the revive in. But you've got to start thinking about that infirmary on the left. Jera is the one pushing it in, and this is not looking good. 6 tickets now remaining. A should be going Epsilon's way, unless maybe we can see a countercap going out from Estrix towards C.
Yeah, but as soon as that happens, B is instantly capped by Epsilon, and there's nothing they can really do at this point. Really good round for Epsilon. 62 tickets, I think is what they're going to take it with here, unless something impressive happens. Now, there you go, 62 tickets. Right, so this is a very interesting game right now, because uMAV obviously picked this map. They've got a 62 ticket lead, Epsilon that is, and it's one of these games where unless your opponent decides to attack the same flag over and over again, you're not going to go away with a lead like that.
Well, and the thing that I'm seeing is it's not a huge difference in kills even. Like, there's obviously a bit of a bonus going Epsilon's way, but considering this ticket lead, it's quite surprising that it wasn't more of a drastically one-sided game. But I'm interested to see what uMAV can do. 62 tickets is a lot to overcome. That's a big difference. And there was 2-1 actual holds on this. It wasn't as fluid as, let's say, the last maps that we've seen. So do you think they can actually do anything here?
I think we're going to see a 1-1 game here. I thought that uMAV might have broken Epsilon after Railway, but they rose to the challenge and they played a very strong game there.
They certainly did, and there's no easy route into the final. It seems every single team to this point has truly had to fight quite hard here. Fnatic against All Authority was a beautiful game to watch, but Against All Authority lost out in the end. Fnatic took it, but still, to see who's going to be joining them, this is an absolute treat. So, getting back into this one on the Russian words are hard. On the Russian side, it will be uMAV, and on the US side, it will be Epsilon. So I will adjust said overlay accordingly. So, do make sure you get your predictions through to me, because anyone who was saying, a 2-0 to uMAV might now be kind of reconsidering their options, and make sure you adjust that and see what can happen. Megalodons, that is what Battlefield 4 needs, more of those. But we will be seeing these guys going head-to-head in a couple more seconds. And was your prediction was a 2-0, wasn't it, originally?
It was 2-0 for uMAV. I mean, it still happened. I originally predicted in the Reddit thread that it would be Epsilon versus Fnatic in the final, so I'm right on that on one side. And someone in chat just put in Scout Dinosaurs. I'd like to see those in the game as well.
That'd be pretty cool. I think there's nothing wrong with that.
It would buff the class a little, yeah.
Just a tiny bit, right? Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Clearly. Right, so we are seeing uMAV already quite easily picking up that A site. No surprises there. And they are being met with some force through mid. And actually, right now, it's Epsilon winning out this battle, so they could be already looking towards the A site conversion here. Akosh not going for the easy push in. He's roping around the back, leaving the likes of Batten with a bit of freedom to push down towards B. And this is a very interesting exchange. Already Horek looking towards the outside area, met with Marzu and some force. But look at these respawns coming in. Epsilon in a great position to possibly take this A site.
Yeah, really interesting one. They're going to take that A flag. They're not going to get C, but they might have just lost B as well. Epsilon could have took that A flag a lot quicker, but the fight kind of dragged on. They weren't too sure where the defenders were. They played it cautious, and they kind of got what they needed. Right now, good start for Epsilon. They are playing on the harder side, but right now it doesn't even matter. The game is now so fluid. But uMAV just seem to be bullying them off that C flag. So Epsilon are just going to play the smart game here and just try and rotate whenever they can.
Yeah, and already Delarco going for a bit of a cheeky split down towards that A site. Teasing out, maybe trying to get the attention. There's more players coming to A than there actually are by doubling in and out of those the metal detectors, leaving Baden to split down the side. But the main focus was towards the C side. We've got Sneaky in there now. He's fairly uncontested until David gets round there. And by that point, uMAV should have control of A if they get the kind of damage they need done. This is a great start of them turning this around as well.
Sneaky, great job out on that C flag. 2-man kill, maybe even a third. Not sure who got David 2K, but that really saved them a lot of issues because they were not going to get this A flag anytime soon. But what you got to see is the spawns coming in with David 2K is going to put a lot of pressure on B. You see Marsu rotating, and there's a spawn as well by uMAV on top of B. This is all up in the air right now.
Yeah, that no site is safe. 128 to 136 tickets. David did get that B site for literally a couple of seconds. The backup in the form of Horek has been found by Asterix. That seems fairly safe now for uMAV, but is any other site safe at the moment? They've got a fairly interesting lock on this one, so kind of curious to see how this one goes down now, as they do have that 2-to-1 hold. The C site is the next target of contention coming out from the Epsilon team. They've got 3 players there, so not going into this one lightly at all. Really looking like they want to get involved into this and get their own 2-to-1 hold.
Yeah, and probably a smarter game from uMAV right now. Though a one that they're pretty much about to be put back into the situation they were previously, where they're constantly having to go uphill and attack Epsilon's defense. 2 3-man hold at A, make that 4 with 1 man out at C. uMAV need to pressure that C flag more than they do A.
Let's see if they go for that at the moment. It seems that they want to make their way down the corridor, challenge out David, look towards A. Asterix, lovely little bit of play there now, opening up the A side. Can he take down Jerry? Yes, he can. Beautiful follow-up from this man here. And now looking to make this one count. Can they make this one actually really stick? Because Akosh was coming around the back there. He was in a good spot to actually make that one really start hurting, but didn't quite make it count in the end. And we are seeing a little bit of once again, a fluid game. Very hard to predict who's going to come away with that 2-to-1 hold. A is being contested constantly. For now, it's in the favor of uMAV, but for how long? David had a little bit of a cheeky peek, did not make anything happen, and now just Jero really around the back, finally with some respawns.
Yeah, that spawn for uMAV pretty much solidifies the B flag. But right now, you can see uMAV, they just want this AB hold. They're going to pressure C with 1 man, but they're never going to overcommit to it well. And they're getting the kills at A, and it's becoming really difficult for Epsilon to push that flag.
Certainly is. Duke maybe cutting his losses and trying this B site, cautiously peering around, gets caught with Delarco, gets the exchange, not the kill. Immediately Horek eyeing this one up. Asterix coming back, playing more defensively. This is a triple cap for Team uMAV. These guys needed this, and that's exactly what they're doing, because if they drop below 62 tickets, uMAV will be in real trouble and going into a third map here. Immediately David looking towards C. We are seeing uMAV now picking up the A site, but the big contest is now on that B section. No one walking away cleanly from this one, it seems.
Yeah, and it's a back and forth game. The lead is obviously with uMAV, but not by much. And that's the kind of game that Epsilon need. They just need a kind of frag-heavy game where they just don't lose too much. And they're doing that right now. I mean, the bleed is against them. They just did suffer a domination cap, but it's not something that's that big a worry. They're going to get this A flag back, I believe. But the thing is, they're rotating a bit too quick. Before they get flags, they already send people away. And that's a bit risky.
Yeah, it does seem as that's a bit of a threat right now. A is now up for grabs. It seems though uMAV do have players present here, and they've got the full hold on this one, so they should be fairly safe for a couple more seconds. Epsilon getting the outside spawn by C. You're seeing them not getting through this time. That A-B hold standing firm for the opposition. Nice little play from Duke though, opening up a touch. Looks for the follow-up, and he gets it. That is 2 back-to-back kills. The revive will come in. The nades being spammed out, hoping for a way through. But for now, uMAV hold on for a couple more seconds. But Epsilon are literally chomping at the bit to get in here. C is fairly left open. Horek has found the kill. That is Asterix down, and now uMAV could be in trouble if they can't hold on to this.
Yeah, but you can see that uMAV are pressure in that C flag. They're reinforcing over there. But once again, Epsilon reinforce where they really need to have won one of the major battles first. And it's starting to hurt. They rotate far too quick sometimes. And it might be, but uMAV gave up a fight at A, believing they'd lost it already, and that is going to be big. If Epsilon really want to make pressure now, they're just going to go for B.
Well, let's see what they do now. Epsilon eyeing up their chances towards that C side. You've got the likes of Duke around the back. Re-rotating through mid. They have that BC hold, as you mentioned. And uMAV, let's remember, they're just about in the lead this time, because if uMAV drop below 62 tickets, that's when they're out anyway. They really struggled in that first half, but they're making this count somehow. They've left C open, so they're hoping they can get this A site in kind of a bit of an exchange, and will that leave them in a good position?
Epsilon has not been out of lead for top left side of this map. I mean, they're outside of A, they threaten A, but they only really get their toe in the water. They get thrown out immediately by uMAV, and uMAV are doing everything they can to cause a big upset here. They're going to get a full domination cap, and the only thing that can save them now is a big spawn outside of B or A.
Well, Akosh does indeed have that spawn, but you can see the lasers flickering from Asterix's gun there. He knows there's going to be a player present. Asterix found Duke, but Akosh not being able to find the reply this early on. This triple cap hold is going to make it hurt. Epsilon are in trouble. C might go back their way, but not before Asterix gets out there as well. This is unbelievable stuff from uMAV, truly bringing it back from the brink. Horek is going to try and change this one over. Akosh getting himself in towards that B side. He's looking around for these players. He knows they're close, and uMAV may have over-rotated here and left the A site a little bit vulnerable.
It's a one-on-one. You'd expect Akatosh to get spawns on him before he goes down, but he just ran blindly at the pattern. This is Epsilon playing amazingly sloppy here, and uMAV are taking massive advantage of it. Epsilon are falling apart when they should be way ahead by now.
They certainly are. With only 23 tickets remaining, they are truly in trouble, and this is where uMAV are starting to shine. Epsilon digging deep, however, looking for their way through back towards that A side. The nades are raining in, but Jera's been taken down. Akosh, the only one to pick up a kill here, finding Asterix in that A site. We are seeing A now being contested. The backup of Delarco has, however, arrived. The nades are landing at their feet. He's getting aggressive, challenging straight out, picking up the one at least, and the double if you count the respawn or the revive, and every single flag is now being capped. Epsilon for B, uMAV for C, and A for uMAV. It should be a 2-1 if Epsilon can even get this.
The 3v3 went to uMAV, and then the one-on-one at C did as well, and there is almost nothing Epsilon can do at this point. It just all went sour on those two pushes.
This is unbelievable stuff from uMAV. They might be able to take this one in 2 maps rather than the 3 we expected. They've got the triple cap just to add insult to injury to secure their place in the finals against Fnatic. They've done it in style. Congratulations, uMAV. You guys truly brought it back from the brink with a 62-ticket deficit to work around. They still did the job. That is incredible.
62 to 88, and they just did a great job there. And you could see Epsilon knew that they didn't have to win by much, and then they started to get really sloppy. They were not able to break out of the left side of the map, and from then on out, uMAV were just all over them. They knew that they could do it. You must have expected that they were like, yeah, we're close, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it, and then all those kills came in at C. That 3v3 went drastically wrong for them, but more importantly, the one-on-one at C, that's all they would have had to have got to be able to stabilize that game, and they lost it.
Yeah, there were some interesting choices. It seemed as though they were kind of clutching at straws at times. You know, Akosh just pushing in rather than waiting on people there on that A push, as you pointed out. It seems that maybe a little bit too much pressure kind of ended up really catching up to them. And uMAV, even though with such a deficit, just sailed through. So very interesting stuff coming out of this game. Let's have a little check up on these brackets here, and so you guys can see exactly what's happened. So Fnatic, the team who's made it through to the final, waiting now for uMAV to join them. They took down eSuba in the second round after having a bye in the first 2-1. eSuba picking up a map, and then the same can be said for Exacqo, the Polish team, not having a smooth route. Fnatic certainly being challenged here and there, and AAA really did the damage early on there. Made it look like there could be a true upset, but, you know, Locker, at the end of the day, Fnatic always turn up. So Fnatic now sitting safely in the finals, whereas uMAV had to take down Epsilon. Epsilon just looked absolutely shaken to the core after they beat the likes of MYM and mFaculty, you know, who just managed to lose out to MYM in those second round games. But Epsilon had a fairly, you know, secure run through this, but uMAV didn't drop a single map to this point. This is the point I really want to kind of highlight here, whereas Fnatic dropped 3 all in all out of their 3 games, but obviously 1 overall in the end. So read into that what you will. Make sure you check out the stats over on the battlefield-ems1.com site for all the information about this, and maybe catch up on some of the previous results to give you an idea of who you think is going to be winning that final game, which will be coming up in about 5 minutes. So guys, do not go anywhere. Do stay tuned. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Peggy 18.